Om Dakshinasya Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryanta Smarya Guru Parampara Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaran Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनंद परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शंकर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। वेदान्तडिण्डिमास्तत्त्वम् एकम् उद्घोषयन्ति यत् आस्तापुरस्तात् तत्तेजः दक्षिणामूर्तिसन्निधम्। Now, all this time we have seen that the teaching of Vedanta, the way Vedanta brings the multiple or Dvaita Prapancha into one and the only Brahman. How does it do that? The teaching of Vedanta is such that first it understands that I am different from the world. That's what I understand. That's my understanding at present. The Mumukshu's understanding. I am an independent Jiva. There are multiple Jivas around me. There are multiple objects of the world around me. So they are multiple things, multiple things. Now, the purpose of Vedanta is to make us know that there are no multiple things here. There are no aneka things here. There is no Dvaitam here. There is only one thing here. And that one thing is nothing but this Atma or Brahman, that consciousness which Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita calls as Kshetrajna. And that consciousness which is one and the only, which is the very Adhishtanam of the Jiva also, Adhishtanam of Ishvara also. So what Vedanta does is, the Jiva Jagat Ishvara, which is a threefold division of the universe, which I am normally making at present, Vedantic teaching, Vedanta tries to make it two, Jiva and Ishvara. Vedanta says that the Jagat is nothing but the manifestation of Ishvara. Therefore, Sarvam Ishvaramayam Jagat, Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. Therefore, Ishvara or Brahman and Jagat need not be taken as two different things. So, from the multiplicity, from multiple things, I am one Jiva. There are multiple millions of other Jivas. There are millions of things in this universe. From this multiplicity, what Vedanta does is, it makes Ishvara and Jagat as one component because Ishvara itself manifests as the whole Jagat. So now from the multiple, it has come to a two-sum, two-folded universe. That is the Jiva and Ishvara. Where has the Jagat gone? The Jagat is nothing other than Ishvara. Ishvara only is manifesting as the Jagat. For the moment, temporarily, as I am not understanding that I am that Ishvara itself, Vedanta says, okay, right now, from the multiplicity of the Jagat, Let us make this multiple universe, that is multiply seen universe, into two distinct categories. That is Jiva and Ishvara, or Jiva and Brahman. And then it tries to equate the two. So from three, it is brought into two. And that two was described in all these verses as I, not I, Atma, Anatma, the seer, the seen, the listener, the listened, the experiencer, the experienced. Then what Vedanta does is that consciousness existence behind the experiencer consciousness is nothing other than that consciousness which is the very adhishtanam of this entire jagat also. Therefore, the samashti upadhi of Ishvara and the vyashti upadhi of the jiva also are mithya. What is Satyam? The consciousness which is the adhishtanam of this jiva, and the consciousness and existence which is the adhishtanam of Ishvara also is one and the same. And therefore, Atmajnanam, Brahmajnanam means understanding that I am not a separate individual jiva. Whatever body, mind, sense complex I have incidentally associated with me, the Atma, is nothing but the Anatma Jagat itself. And what is the reality of me and what is the reality of Ishvara? It is none other than this Atma Brahman. So, Atma Brahma Aikyam, Jiva Ishvara Aikyam is what is talked about in the previous 2-3 verses, where Jivo Brahmatmana Gneyaha, then Gneyam Jivatmana Param, Muktihi Tad Aikya Vijnanaditi Vedantadindimah. We saw that in the 16th verse. And also we saw in the 17th verse that actually this Brahmajnanam is not difficult to get. There is really no ayasa in this Brahmajnanam. There is nothing. It only requires the preparation of the mind. One needs chitta shuddhi, chitta nischalyam, and the maturity of this intellect with the value systems, the 21 values given by Lord Krishna, by which the intellect is made capable or yogya for this jnana. It is what is called as the jnana yogyata prapti. And he says in the 17th verse, which we saw last time, that Sarvatmatvat param brahma. Because param brahma is nothing but this sarvagata atma consciousness. The atma, the shroturatma also. That consciousness behind this shrota, this manta, this karta, bhokta, body, mind, sense complex, whatever the consciousness is, it is none other than Brahman. Brahman being Sarvagatam is also the very same consciousness behind this body, mind, sense complex. Therefore, there is no difficulty in understanding it. So, na ayasaha. So, it is no ayasa at all. But then why are we feeling that Vedanta is so difficult? We are feeling that because we are not prepared for it. When the mind is not prepared for something, when the intellect is not prepared for something, what happens is we tend to feel that, oh, what is Vedanta saying? I don't understand whatever is being said. It's not true. If I'm well prepared, I can understand Shravana Matrena Mukti is possible. As I told you in the last session, Bhagwan Vishveshwaracha, one of the, students or Shishas of Bhagwan Shankaracharya, Sureshwaracharya, says that Shravana Matrena Jnanam, Shravana Matrena Aparuksha Jnanam. It is possible. Why? Because if I am totally prepared for this Jnanam, then Shravanam alone is enough. There is no need for Mananam and Niddhidhyasanam also. But why is it that we require Mananam and Niddhidhyasanam? Because our intellect is not well prepared for this knowledge. And therefore, here in the 17th verse, Narasimha Saraswati says, because this Atma behind this entire body mind sense complex, every function of this body mind sense complex is backed by this Atma consciousness. And this consciousness is none other than that Sarvagatam Brahma. If Brahman is that consciousness which is available everywhere, then it is that same consciousness behind this body mind sense complex also. Therefore, this Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, this Atma which is the Adhishtanam of this body mind sense complex, is the very Adhishtanam of the entire Jagat. And therefore, what is said is, Jiva and Brahma are not two different things. Atma, Brahma, Jiva, Ishvara are not two different things. There is abheda between them. There is no bheda at all between them. And it is very easy to understand, but it has to be heard by a prepared intellect. A well prepared intellect is the one which is capable of giving me this knowledge. And now, what are those things what is that most important thing which is necessary for the preparation of the intellect for this knowledge? And here, Acharya Narasimha Saraswati talks about Vairagya, Tyaga he talks about, or Vairagya. What is the meaning of Vairagya? Understanding the real value of any particular thing, not overvaluing it. In Anatma, there are many things that are useful to us. Yes, they are meant to be used by us. But it does not mean that we overvalue them. Money has its buying power. Money has its role. Security has its role. But then to that much. But when I overvalue it, when I overvalue money as the only thing which gives me peace, security, and happiness, then Vedanta says that your idea or your outlook is wrong. Because money can give you comforts, it can give you some buying power, it can give you some temporary kind of sukha. But money or other resources or wealth is not something which can give me that permanent peace, security, and happiness. Because wealth also, money also, is something which can come and go, which is not nityam, which is anityam. And whatever material benefits we are enjoying in this life are the karma phalas, the punya karma phalas that we have, accrued in our past lives. What we have accrued in our past lives, those are the punya phalas which we have accrued in our past lives. And therefore, he says, one has to understand very clearly that karma means what? Doing anything for the sake of achieving something. Karma or upasana. When we do for the sake of achieving something, then that only increases my bondage or my entanglement with it. That's what he's saying in the 18th verse. One must be capable of doing karma tyaga. What is the meaning of karma tyaga? Doing whatever I have to do, let me do. Let me not do unnecessary things for the sake of acquiring material benefits and material things. Because any karma which is done with the intention of acquiring some kind of material benefits or sukha is ultimately not going to lead to that sukha. And we have to understand that karma tyaga means what? Doing whatever is to be done, I will do it, whether it is a secular karma or whether it is a Vedika karma, I will do it with an attitude of karma yoga. That means what? Everything that is given to me is Ishvara's, isn't it? Nothing belongs to me. I don't have anything. If today I have something, it is Ishvara's blessings and my punya prarabdha that has given me certain things which are giving me some amount of pleasure, some amount of comfort. Correct? But then that is not everything. So what here Bhagwan, the Acharya wants to talk about is that he wants to say that the karma is something that gives me karma phala. And that karma phala is something which is going to give me tapa. Tapa means what? Bondage and binding, or what is called as unnecessary trouble, either here in this world or in the other worlds to come. Because when I do the karma phala is waiting for me, and all the karma phalas of the karmas done in this life cannot be experienced in this life alone. They are experienced sometime much later also. We may have to come back again and again in various other bodies to experience these karma phalas. And therefore, wherever I go, whether it is this world or whether it is some other world, the tapa or what you call as the unhappiness is all the time following me wherever I am. Tapa means the santapa or the dukkha. No karma phala is totally sukham. Karma phala initially may appear as it is sukhadayakam, but ultimately it is dukkham because karma phalam is anityam. It may last for a short time, and the same karma phala which I expect may not come. So what he says in the 17th, 18th verse, which he started last time, Aihikam cha mushmikancha tapantam karma sanchayam त्यक्त्वा ब्रह्मैव विज्ञेयम् iti Vedantadindimah. So the Vedanta or Upanishads claim that Aihikam cha amushmikam cha karma sanchayam, all the karma sanchayam means all the karma palas accumulated out of doing various karmas, either in this world, okay, which are done for the sake of experiencing material benefits in this world, aihikam, cha amushmikam. That means those which are done for the sake of achieving higher worlds, isn't it? Many of the people do yagas and yajnas and karmas for achieving higher worlds, going to the higher worlds after their death. But then what is said is, wherever you may go, where maximum can I go? A karmi, a person who has done all the Vedika karmas, like Nachiketa asked for that Swarga Agni, which can give Swarga Phala Prapti after death. That is called as a Nachiketa Agni Karma. And Yamadharmaraja taught Nachiketa the Virat Upasana also, the highest form of Upasana by which one can attain Brahmaloka. So where can one go? Even with the most sacred and most exalted karma, the karma phala can be a higher loka, but I'm not going to stay in that higher loka forever. Tetam bhuktva swarga lokam vishalam kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. Whatever I have achieved by the punya karmas, that is also going to end. So aihika sukham, whatever I want in this life and I ask for by some karmas, maximum it can give me some form of happiness and peace temporarily in this particular world, in this world. And some of the exalted karmas and the upasanas may actually give me even Brahmaloka Prapti, Swargaloka Prapti. But what is the use of that? They are also associated with Santapa. They are also associated with us coming back from those worlds. They are also associated with very, very anitya phalas. So much of ayasa is there in doing all those karmas for the sake of aihika and amushmika phalas, which are going to give me sukha. But ultimately, all these aihika sukhas, amushmika sukhas are going to end up in santapa alone. Therefore, here the author is saying, don't go too much after various karmas and upasanas with the intention of getting higher lokas or good karma phala in this life. So what he's saying is, leave that. Whatever is necessary, whatever karma is needed for living in this world well, do that karma. Even that karma, you do it as an offering to Ishvara, because everything here belongs to Ishvara. What belongs to me? Nothing belongs to me. If there is something which I have got, it is Ishvara's grace. And by doing whatever karma I am doing, I am offering all that belongs to Ishvara back to Ishvara. All my karmas, I am offering them back to Ishvara. So when I do these karmas or upasanas for Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Naishalyam with the Karma Yoga attitude, with an Upasana Yoga attitude, then what happens? The very same karma, the very same Upasana gives me the Jnana Yogyata. Rather than giving me higher lokas and aihika sukhas, the very same karma done with the attitude of karma yoga, the very same upasana done with the attitude of upasana yoga, what does it give me? It gives me chitta shuddhi and chitta naishalyam and jnana yogyata prapti. So what he's saying is, may you not get caught in these karmas for aihika amushmika sukhas. Ultimately, they are going to lead to santapa alone, nothing else. Therefore, tyaktva, give up. Give up means what? Give up those which are not necessary. Give up those kind of elaborate karmas and upasanas for the sake of achieving something later. Give up all that. Brahmaiva vigneyam. Brahman, knowing Brahman as ahameva. Ahameva tad Brahma asmi iti, knowing this, all the peace, security, and happiness is nothing but mine. Therefore, what he's saying, all those karmas tyaktva, okay, may you please give up unnecessary karmas. Whatever karma you're doing, you do nishkama karmas, not sakama karmas. Because there is no way we can sustain this life without doing karmas. We have to do various karmas here, whether they are religious karmas, depending upon our varna and ashrama, Vedika karmas, we have to do. They are our nitya karmas. Whatever karmas we are doing as laukika karmas, for the sake of survival in this world, we have to do. But when we do the same with the nishkama attitude, with the attitude of karma yoga and upasana yoga, these karmas and their karma phalas no longer become a source of santapa for us. And ultimately, this will help us in Brahmaiva Vigneyam. To know this Brahman only, these karmas and upasanas will actually help us in knowing that Brahman, rather than taking us to the worlds where we are only going to end up with more and more santapas. Okay, that's why it is said in one of the Upanishads, Tad yatheha karma jito lokaha kshiyate. Karma jito lokaha kshiyate means very soon the karma phala that I have got of any karma is going to get worn out and get wasted away. Yevameva amutra punya jito lokaha kshiyate. Not only here, Later also, by whatever karma phala loka I have earned going to higher lokas, that also is going to go away. Therefore, may you not engage yourself in doing things which are ultimately going to be anityam. And whatever is unavoidable, even that karma, may that be done with the attitude of karma yoga and upasana yoga for chitta shuddhi and chitta nishchay. Now, next he goes, in the next one, he says, there are different types of knowledges. Okay, we have a Dvaitavada, we have got a Vishishta Dvaitavada, then we have got an Advaitavada. What is the meaning of Vada? That looking at this threefold universe of Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara as constantly remaining like that Dvaitavada or Vishishtadvaitaha, some extent we get over this kind of a threefold manifested universe somehow, and the mukti which is talked about or the moksha which is talked about is something different. Let us not go to all those things, but it is only the Advaita Jnanam. It is only the Advaita Jnanam of the Upanishads which talks about total freedom from duality, total freedom from coming back again and again into this world. Therefore, here he says that Advaita Dvaita Vadau Dvau Sukshma Sthula Dashangatau Advaita Vadan Moksha Hasyad Iti Vedantadindimah. So here he says that there are two types of approach to this, to knowing oneself. One is Advaita Vada. Advaita Vada means a point of view, not a point of view, the reality, Advaita Vada. Then he says, then Dvaita Vada, Advaita Dvaita Vada, Dva. There are two things in which one can look at the world and myself. I am the same as Ishvara. There is no difference between me and the Jagat and Ishvara. The consciousness behind this Vyashti body and the consciousness behind that Samashti Jagat and Ishvara are one and the same. All the difference that I see is only an experiential difference. Really speaking, there is no difference. This is what is called as Advaitavada. Dvaitavada is that where Jiva can never become Ishvara. Jiva remains Jiva, Ishvara remains Ishvara. Whatever is right now, it is going to continue. With the grace of Ishvara, in every life that you come, possibly in every body that you come back, possibly with the grace of Ishvara, with the karma and upasana that you have done, you can probably lead a better and a happier life. That's all. But Dvaita can never be really taken away. The world is always in duality. That is what the Dvaitavada is. Now, we don't need Advaitavada to teach us that there are many things, because we already know, isn't it? Are we not experiencing many things? Should a philosophy come and tell me that there are many things in this world? No. I'm already experiencing the difference between me and other jivas. I'm already experiencing the difference between me and the Jagat. And what I need to know is that difference that I'm seeing between me and the other jivas, between me and the Jagat, between me and Ishvara, is not the real Bheda. It is only from the point of view of Upadhi. So, from the view of Dvaita Darshanas, those philosophies which take this multiplicity and Dvaita nature, that means multiple things in the universe as reality, there is no question of moksha for them. There is no moksha. In Dvaita philosophies, there is no moksha. You are always bound. You as a jiva is always a jiva. Ishvara is always Ishvara. You can never have any kind of a, you can never be Ishvara. There is no samya also. You can never be Ishvara. Jiva is Jiva. Ishvara is Ishvara. You will always come back. But because of this grace of that Ishvara, maybe in some lives you may be happy. In some lives you may be unhappy. There is no concept of moksha in all the Dvaita darshanas. So here he says is Advaita Vada or Advaita Darshana or Advaita, it's not a philosophy. Advaita is the reality, the truth. The very truth of the Advaita teaching of Upanishad is Sukshmaha. It's very, very subtle, because the Advaita teaching of the Upanishads ultimately tells us that you have the chance of completely getting out of these cycles of birth and death. Whereas the Dvaita philosophies, there is no question of getting out of the cycles of birth and death. Till, till this creation exists, this kalpa exists, I'll keep coming back, keep coming back. Then when pralaya takes place, probably this jiva will have some long rest in the prakriti. And when the next creation starts, again I'll come back. For millions of years, I'll keep coming back again and again and again in various body minds, in various bodies. That is what it is. And that is a very sthula teaching. Sthula dasham gatau. And one is talking about a very sthula avastha of the universe, the initial stage where we are in. We are in that stage now, where we take Dvaitam, multiplicity, as the reality. We take that this body is real. And I am going to come back again and again, that is also real. But whereas Advaita is teaching me the teachings of the Upanishad, where the Upanishads tell me that this body that you are with is not the ultimate reality. And all the other names and forms in this universe are not realities. And understanding this, that there is one consciousness behind this Vyashti body mind sense complex and the Samashti Jagat, seeing the Abheda between Jiva and Ishvara is moksha, and that is possible. It is possible. For every one of us, it is possible. What is required? We require the preparation of the intellect and exposure to the Shastra as Pramana and the Guru's words. And if there is Ishvara's grace, we will be lucky enough to be born in an Advaita Parampara and have Advaita teaching Gurus. Therefore, if I am really interested in moksha, if I have really seen the futility of coming back again and again, if I have really seen the dukkham in the Dvaita multiplicity in Dvaita Prapancha, then I have a chance of freedom from this. I have a chance of jumping out of this cycle of birth and death. And therefore, Advaita teaching, which is the real teaching of the Upanishads, is the one which is mokshadayaka. It is such a subtle teaching that it talks about the abheda between Atma and Brahman, Jiva and Ishvara. So he says, Advaitavadat moksha hasyat. It's only when I'm exposed to the Advaita teaching. What is Advaita? Jiva Ishvara abheda, Atma Brahma abheda. When this teaching of the Upanishad, this very subtle teaching of the Upanishad, it understood very, very well, then own moksha is possible for anybody. It can be a male, a female, it can be a person belonging to any varna, any ashrama. Because ultimately, behind the body mind sense complex of every dharma, every varna and ashrama, it is this Atma. Therefore, it is possible for every person in this universe who is interested in this knowledge, who is a serious mumukshu, who is a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari, it is possible to get out of this cycle of lives and births. So, Advaita Vadat Moksha. Advaita Vadat Moksha. Vada means here the real teaching, the Advaita teaching, understanding that there is one thing here, there are no multiple things, only can give me moksha. But when I see that, if I say that there are multiples here and multiplicity is the truth, Dvaita is the truth, and I don't have the whole world is Kriya Karaka Phala Bhedaha. This whole universe is in the form of doing, experiencing the phalam of what I have done, and the Karakas Kriya, Karaka, Phala, Bheda is Dvaitam. That means there is a doer, there is a karma that is done, there is a karma phala that is there, and that brings me back into various situations and conditions every time. But this multiplicity and Dvaitam is the reality. It is the reality with Kriya, Karaka, Phala, Bhedaha, differences. Whereas what is Advaita teaching of the Upanishads, which is the real teaching? That is the real, that is the very samanvaya of all the Upanishads. That's the very central core teaching of Vedanta, that there is only one and there is no Kriya, Karaka, Phala, Bheda. This consciousness, this Atma, is something which is beyond Kriya, Karaka, Phala, Bheda. That which is not the Karta, in which there is no karma, which is not affected by the karma phala. Therefore, Atma is one consciousness which is not divided, which is one with Brahman. And this teaching, this understanding alone leads me to moksha. Do I need somebody to tell me that world is multiple? There is Dvaitam. It's my experience from the time I am born, I am seeing Dvaitam only. From the time I am born, I am seeing multiplicity only. What I need is a teaching which tells me, look, you may see multiple things. You may see different Kriya, Karaka, Phala, Bhedas, you may see, but those Bhedas are really not there. That multiplicity, that what you call as Dvaitam that you see is really not there. This is what we need to learn. Seeing things as Dvaitam, seeing the reality as Dvaitam, which we already are seeing, isn't it? And that's why we are suffering. I am different from you. Veda does not have to tell me. I am already having that knowledge that I am different from you. Wrong knowledge. It's not the right knowledge. I am different from Jagat. Nobody has to tell me. I already have this wrong idea that I am different from the Jagat. Okay, this multiple Jagat, which has got multiple names and forms, the names and forms of reality. Nobody has to tell me. I'm already having that wrong idea that everything in the Jagat name, Nama Rupa, is real. Kriya, Karaka, Phala, Bheda, Rupa. This universe is nothing but doing, experiencing the phalam of this and different karakas, different aspects of the karma doership. This I already know. Aham karta, aham bhokta. Already this is my wrong knowledge, which because of which I am suffering. Do I need a philosophy to tell me that? That philosophy is already there in me. I'm born with that philosophy. I grow up with that philosophy. I come back millions of lives with that philosophy that I'm different, God is different. Do I need a philosophy to tell me that? I'm already in that ajnanam. What I need is the subtle knowledge that Vedanta is trying to tell me, that you are not different from the world, you are not different from Ishvara. That consciousness is you, which is behind this body, mind, sense complex. This body, mind, sense complex is incidental, but you, the consciousness, is real, Nitya, Mukta, Shuddha, Buddha. And the names and forms that we see in the multiplicity of the universe that we see is incidental. But the adhishtanam of this universe, which is nothing but this existence, consciousness, Brahma, that is the reality. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma Brahma is the reality of me, the reality of the Jagat, reality of Ishvara. This subtle knowledge is what Vedanta is trying to teach me. Do you understand what we say? Therefore, we don't need the philosophy of Dvaitam, to tell us that you are different, you are an individual. But we need that subtle knowledge of Vedanta or Upanishads to tell me that, look, you are not different. The difference is only superficial. The difference is only in the anatma. The difference is only in the upadhi, anatma upadhi. Underneath all the upadhis, what is there is that consciousness alone, which is the reality, and you are that reality. This is moksha, from which, with which I can come out, jump out of the cycle of birth and death permanently. So now, extending the same thing in the 20th verse, the Acharya says, Karmino vinivartante nivartante upasakaha jnanino na nivartante iti vedantadindimaha. Here in the verse you see, Karmino vinivartanta, nivartanta upasaka, because the sandhi rules, it says so, but we have to take it as karminaha vinivartante. The karmis come back. When I do the karma with the intention of enjoying aihika or amushmika sukha in the form of getting good life in this life or attaining higher lokas after my death, I do all types of karmas which are asked in the Veda Purva to be done. What happens to me? Through the Krishna Gati, I go to some higher lokas and then Vinivartante, I come back again. Kshine Punye Martya Lokam Vishanti. I pay through the currency of my Punya Phala in those higher lokas, and once the currency of my Punya is over, I drop back to this Martya Loka. Nivartante upasakaha. Even upasakas will come. How? Now, upasana and karma, people who are doing karma, upasana, samuchaya, or the highest forms of upasana, where can they go? The highest they can go is Brahmaloka. So, they will remain in Brahmaloka till the end of this creation. But if they do not get Kramamukti there is a chance in Brahmaloka to get this knowledge and be free forever. What knowledge we want to get now in this loka here, as we are here, that same knowledge is possible even in Brahmaloka for an upasaka who has gained that Brahmaloka because of his Atishaya Punyam. But do you think that Brahmaloka phalam is constant or nityam? No. Okay. Punaravartinaha. Brahmaloka, from Brahmaloka onwards to the Patala, all the, the lokas, they come back again. Punaravartinaha. They come back again and again and again. Maybe till the end of this creation, till this Brahma is there, as the head of this particular creation, I will remain in Brahmaloka. Then, when Lord Brahma's night comes, I will remain in a very, very potential form in Prakriti, in the Pralaya. But then what happens when the next creation takes place? If I have managed to get moksha in Brahmaloka, then I am free forever. I don't come back at all. Whereas if I have not got this knowledge in the Brahmaloka, what I call as Kramamukti, then what happens to me? In the next creation, I come back again. So, my going to Brahmaloka is a long holiday, because I'm not sure whether I will get that knowledge in Brahmaloka or not. Whether Kramamukti will be possible for me or not, I don't know. I'm taking a risk. All that karma and upasana samuchaya that I have done, various exalted karmas and upasanas I have done to attain Brahmaloka. What is it? What kind of an amritatvam is it? What kind of a nityatvam it is? It is only apekshika amritatvam, temporary amritatvam. Millions of years of not coming back into this other lokas, lower lokas again. But then after this creation is over, in the next creation, it is possible that if I have not got out of this cycle of birth and death, I can come back again and again. But jnaninaha na nivartante. A jnani who is a sthita prajna, who is a jnani who has got this knowledge, aham brahmasmi, it is samyak darshanam, the one who has got here and now itself, he or she is free from everything. This body may remain here till its prarabdha is over, but there's no question of coming back in another body. So, why should I postpone my moksha to Brahmaloka and do so many karmas and upasanas with so much ayasa? And I'm not even sure that they are going to take me to Brahmaloka. Because even a minor lapse in what I'm doing, I may not get the Brahmaloka. But here, in this world, when I have the Guru Shastra Pramana, if I don't free myself, if I don't release myself from the bondage of samsara, and wait to go to Brahmaloka and then free myself, isn't it stupidity on my part? Iha cheda vedit atas atat satyamasti. Tata satyamasti. That means if you get this knowledge here and now, then that is worth it, because here and now you're going to get released from this bondage. Nachet iha vedit mahati vinashti. Because if I don't get this knowledge here, now in this human world, in this human life, mahati vinashti. It's a great loss. It is said in our Shastra that there are only two worlds, there are only two realms of experience, two lokas where this knowledge can be had. One is Manusha Loka, one is Brahma Loka. There are other lokas also like Gandharva Loka, Pitru Loka, where this knowledge is very, very difficult to get. That's what is said. Even in Kathopanishad, we saw that. If I have missed it in this life, higher worlds like Swargaloka, Pitriloka, maybe it is possible, it is again, but very difficult. Where can I have this knowledge with a clarity like light and darkness? With so much clarity, this knowledge, where can I have? The Upanishad itself says only in the Manusha Loka and in the Brahma Loka. And what is Brahma Loka? It involves so much of karma and upasana to reach that particular realm. Therefore, here and now, when I have the exposure to the Advaita teaching, when I am born in an Advaita parampara, when I have got an exposure to this Shastra and Upanishads, and when I have an exposure to the Gurus who are making this Upanishad Shastra easy for me to understand, if I don't make use of it, if I don't free myself here and now, isn't it a mahati vinashti? Isn't it a great loss? So he says here, jnanino nanivartante iti vedantadindimah. All the Upanishads say that, yes, at the most, karma and upasana can take you to the higher lokas, but all the higher lokas also are recyclable, and therefore we have to come back again and again. But the only thing which takes me out of the cycle of birth and death is nothing but this Atma Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam. And therefore, Jnaninaha na nivartante. Whether it is a Sadhyo Mukti that happens here, as a Jivan Mukta, as a Sthita Prajna, I am out of coming back again and again cycle. And with Brahmamukti in Brahmaloka also it can happen. But going to Brahmaloka itself is so difficult. Here I am already there in Manusha Loka. I am already having exposure to the Advaita subtle teachings. I already understand the Upanishads the way they have been told. The Pramana is there in front of me. The Guru Vakyas are there. The Guru's words are there in front of me, which can release me from this. Therefore, isn't this the best time for us to really see that this knowledge is internalized rather than waiting to go somewhere else? Like people, I want to go on a vacation and enjoy. I don't enjoy myself here because my mind is always disturbed. Do you think by going to a vacation I can really enjoy? I'm carrying the same mind with me. So vacation is a change of place, that's all. But am I free from my all my, problems, or am I free from my depressions? Am I free from all that my, emotional disturbances? No. Whether I'm here or whether I'm somewhere in a holiday, I'm in a different loka. That's all. But what happens now? There is no mukti from what I'm suffering from. I'm carrying the same mind. But if I'm happy, if I understand Aham Brahmasmi, now and here, wherever I am, I don't have to go to a vacation and relax. I'm always relaxed. Param Shantim Adhigachati. Param Shantim. I am absolutely calm, absolutely unaffected by what is happening around me. The situations will not change. People around me will not change. My body will not change. All the aches and pains and diseases that this body has will remain even when I'm a jnani. All the people around me, my family, my other people who are a source of nuisance to me will remain a source of nuisance. But I am a Mukta Purusha. I am a Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma. All the afflictions are there only for the body mind. They are not to me, the Atma. In spite of the situations remaining the same, I am free from the bondage of those things. That is why it is said, Sadhyo Mukti. That's the phalam. What's the point of getting mukti after dying? I should experience the phalam of Param Shanti here and now. And the Upanishads say, yes, you can, because you are that already. You don't have to look for it anywhere. You just need to understand what the Vedanta is saying. You just need to shift your, vision. You just need to shift your paradigm, and you should have the clarity of perception about yourself as what Vedanta is saying. That's it. It's a very simple thing. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to spend any money. I don't have to do anything. It's a matter of Shravanam, Mananam, and niddhidhyasanam of the Pramana which is already available with me. And if I don't make use of it now, then when am I going to make use of it? Now comes the 21st verse. Paroksha satphalam karma jnanam pratyaksha satphalam jnanamevabhyaset tasmad iti vedantadindimah. So, what is the phalam of karma and upasana? What is the phalam of jnana? Again, he is saying here. Already he said, the Acharya in the 20th verse, previous verse said, Karminaha vinivartante. Nivartante upasakaha api. Jnaninaha na nivartante. Means they don't come back to this cycle of birth and death. The same thing he's telling in the 21st verse in different words. As I said, Vedanta has, and the Vedanta Acharyas repeat the same truth again and again in different words, because this truth is very sukshmam, sukshmat sukshmataram, also durvigneyam, difficult to understand. Therefore, the same thing is expressed, explained again and again using different words, using different ways of putting it. The different ways of putting the same truth. And the same thing which you saw in the previous verse, it's going to come here. Paroksha asat phalam karma. Paroksha asat phalam karma. What does karma do? it gives paroksha phalam, means it's not immediate. Phalam is there. I don't know when I'm going to get that phalam. Today I'm doing something, some karma I'm doing, some upasana I'm doing for the phalam. I may not get it now. I may not get it in this life. It is paroksha. Paroksha asat phalam karma. Karma will definitely give me some phalam. But how much phalam? Have I done the karma properly or not? Whatever is promised by doing the karma properly, that phalam, can I experience it now immediately? No. It is called as adrishtaha. When I eat, immediately my food, my hunger goes. That is drishta phalam. But whatever karma I am doing for the sake of attaining material benefits or higher worlds, that karma phalam is adrishtam. It is not drishta phalam, it is adrishtam. That means it's going to fructify sometime later. When is that later? I don't know. It may be in this life, it may be next life, it may be after 10 lives. And when I get that phalam of the karma that I have done today, I may not even be really in need of that karma phala. Today I feel I need this phala, so I'm doing this karma. Without realizing that this karma phala is adrishtam and paroksham. It's not going to come immediately. It's going to take its own time. And by the time the karma phala comes to me, I may not be even in a position to enjoy that karma phalam because it may not be relevant for me at that time. Right now, it is relevant for me. I want something. I do a particular karma. But it is adrishtam. It comes sometime in some life where I have lost the significance of that. Then what is the use of that? Not only that, parokshaha, asat phalam karma. Asat. Asat means what? It lasts for a very short time. It's not nityam, anityam. That karma phalam also lasts for a very short time. And karma phalas can be of 4 types. I've already told you what I want, less than what I want, more than what I want, exactly opposite to what I want. And which of them is going to come, that also I don't know. So therefore it is called as asat phalam karma. Jnanam pratyaksha sat phalam. Jnana phalam is pratyaksham, immediate. The moment light is brought, darkness disappears. Similarly, the moment jnanam happens, ajnanam disappears and moksha comes, and it is sat phalam, it is nitya phalam, it is drishta phalam. Therefore, jnanameva abhyaset tasmat. Therefore, may you commit yourself to this jnanam. Don't waste your time and energy in doing various types of karmas and upasanas whose phalam you are not sure about. Therefore, iti Vedantadindimah jnanameva abhyaset. May you be committed to jnanam alone. That is the only thing which will give you immediate drishta phalam and nitya phalam, sat phalam of moksha. Okay, we'll stop with this. Nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu guru sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukhamapnuyat. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om tat sat.